Here we go. Okay, awesome. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jacob Levy. I run a service called Searchable, where I help job seekers target opportunities outside their network. Tonight, you guys are in luck because I'm going to show you the wonderful world of LinkedIn in 60 minutes. It's going to be a ton of information. You don't have to take notes. It's being recorded, and you'll all get a copy of it. I have a background as a career coach, special education teacher. I also grew up with a disability, so I'm very passionate about helping all job seekers, but specifically those with disabilities. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to talk about is your job search, but I'm going to pitch it like a game of offense and defense. Okay, so there's defense. I'll start with defense. Okay, if you take a look here, we have our newsfeed. Defense, when I'm talking about defense, I'm talking about your profile. Okay, every single word on your profile is searchable. Ironic is the name of my service, but it is searchable. Like, you can be found from the keywords on your profile, 100%. Okay, so you have to be strategic, right? You have to think about how hiring managers are looking for you. Okay, so for example, your header is super important. As a job seeker, you want to kind of tailor it to you want to put prospective job titles that you're seeking, right? So for educators, it could be like customer success manager, trainer, learning and development, all that kind of stuff. Those are all skills in which hiring managers are using to find you. Okay, they don't know your first and last name. All they know are keywords. Keywords are like king and queen of this platform. Okay. And feel free, you guys can like raise your hand with the icon or just interrupt me. It's all good. Okay. As I go down the profile, the other really important part, I'm not going to do the featured right now, is your about section. Okay. This part is, it's like a summary, right? The problem with this section is most people just put their past and their present experience. The issue with that is, especially if you're an educator, well, you're trying to pivot, right? You're trying to change industries. So it's important to not just put your past and present. Otherwise, you're not going to get found by, if someone's looking for a customer success manager, they're looking for keywords from that job description. So what I would suggest is look at the job titles that you are seeking, and you want to kind of embed those keywords from the job description into this section. Okay, you can make it story form, you could do first person, third person. I don't really care about that. Everybody's like first, third. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, this section serves as an SEO tool to be found by employers. Okay, it's a massive piece of real estate. Okay, I think they doubled the amount to 2,600 characters. That's a lot. What I do, because I'm looking to help job seekers with disabilities, organizations with disabilities, I put a ton of keywords at the very, very end. That's a strategy. If you guys are looking for a specific industry, you should pull up as many job descriptions as you can find and pull out those keywords, and you can pop them right in, either at the end. You can weave them into your story, right, of your career, whatever you want. But this section, I'm telling you, it's an SEO tool, search engine optimization tool to be found. Okay, everyone's cool with that so far?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, now that part is like 10% of it. Okay, your profile, your about section, all this stuff is searchable. Okay, the next part and the other like 90% of it is offense. Okay, offense is basically you're reverse engineering the process of a hiring manager. Okay, so this is what most people do. They go to this section, which I don't love because it's really just a glorified job board, right? You can go to Indeed, Career Builder, Monster, there's a million of them, right? But they all kind of do the same thing. You apply to a job, and once you click submit, you lose the human element. right? You don't get to do anything. You don't get to add your value. You just kind of wait on a system to read and scan your resume, right? So typically it leaves the hands of a human and it goes into artificial intelligence, which in my opinion is not very intelligent. Okay, so what you need to do instead is you go to the search bar. My computer will load. Okay, you go to the search bar. Okay, my favorite formula for this is this: job title and city. Okay, pretty much every single job description in the entire world, no matter what language it is going to have a job title and a city. Okay, that's like pretty much every job description you'll ever see. So if we look at I'll just take a look at my chat to see what kind of jobs we have. Thanks for the kind words, Allison. I want to look for like a broad one. Okay, recruiter. That one's like pretty easy. Okay, so we have entry-level recruiter, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Indianapolis, remote. Okay, now I'm just going to show you a basic search. You can type in your own job title and city, but I just want to show you what it looks like. Okay, so entry-level recruiter. Okay, so there's our job title. We want a city. Now, here's another thing. This is also a city. Think about it. We're in a pandemic, right? These are remote is synonymous with a city. Okay, you can also add like a physical city, Indianapolis. The other word I would add is this: hiring. Okay, because you don't care that somebody else is looking for an entry-level recruiter role that's remote. You want to know who's hiring for an entry-level recruiter role that is remote. So you type in your search terms, press enter. Okay, this is what comes up. Okay, you're going to get a ton of raw data. You're going to get data. Okay, what does this mean? LinkedIn doesn't really know what you want. Okay, so it's going to give you, do you want posts with these keywords? Do you want, people with these keywords? Okay, so it's raw data. What do we do with this data? We're going to filter it. Okay, we're like scrubbing it. We're scrubbing the data. Okay, so we're going to click on posts. Okay, what that does is, let's say we got 10,000 results, which usually it actually gives you a number of results. This time it's not. So it's going to take these 5 keywords, okay, and it's going to give you every single post on all of LinkedIn. Okay, here's the cool part. This, let me find a decent example. Okay, these are all, okay, right here. Everyone sees this, Brian Russick. Oh. Hold on. Okay, does everyone see Brian Russick, technical recruiter?
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Does everyone know what the second means?
No.
The second means that person is not in my network. They're not connected to me. There's a person in my network that's connected to Brian. That's what the second means. Okay. Why is this powerful? Because I've officially left my network. I am outside my network, which this is where all the opportunity lies. Okay. All the opportunity is literally outside your network. Okay. The only thing that like shows up in your network, well, it's still powerful, but it's your first connections, and it's your first connections that they've liked, commented, or shared. Okay. But the crappy thing about that is you're on defense because you're playing the waiting game. You're waiting for them to come to you. What we're doing now is offense. We are targeting roles outside of your network. We are being proactive instead of reactive. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All right, so this is very powerful because what you can do with this, you can scroll down. I want to look for like a decision-making entity. What I mean by that is like a hiring manager. Now, a hiring manager is, in my opinion, not an actual job title. It'll be something like, CEO, director, manager, talent acquisition, human resource, right? Like a decision maker. Okay. So, I mean, I guess we can use like senior corporate recruiter. Where's a good one? Okay, so here we go. Manager of operations. Okay. A manager, they make hiring decisions, right? They have a team, they have to hire people on their team. Okay. How did this pop up? That's weird. They're a third connection. I have no idea who this person is. Okay. That means they know someone that knows someone that's in my network. Okay. But because I use the word hiring and entry level and recruiter, it acts like a Google search. You guys see how I did that? Can you like imagine the realm of possibility at what you can do with your search? Yep, I see people cracking smiles, right? Mind blown. Just like insert meme here. Okay. Like when I figured this out, like I just started yelling with joy. Okay. Because this has nothing to do with clicking submit. It has nothing to do with click and submit. You're keeping the process as human to human as long as you possibly can. That's how you get opportunities, is people to people. It's not just clicking submit 50 times a day. That's not how it works, in my opinion. Okay. Even though that's like the way of the world and that's why things are going, keep it human to human as long as you can. So what I would do, this is like a perfect example. Okay. Even though it was 3 months ago. Okay. You see the 3 MO means it was 3 months ago. Not a single person has engaged on this post. I mean, he got 2 likes, but nobody left a comment. Leaving comments, in my opinion, is gold. Because if you just sent an email or an in-mail to this person, first of all, his inbox is probably flooded with in-mails, right? He's a decision maker, so he's got, people making requests, asking for jobs, etc. If you do that, you're a complete stranger. They have no idea who you are, right? So you want to have a strategy in place. This is what I would do. And I think I sent everybody a cheat sheet. Did everyone get a cheat sheet? Okay, you can, I mean, it's being recorded, so you can, just listen or whatever, but it's called a 3-point shot, okay, like in basketball, which is funny because I'm 5'4" and I don't play basketball. I play more lower center gravity, like soccer. But yeah, anyway, so this is what I would do. I would say, hey, David, this recruiter role looks great. Okay, you're just like making small talk here. Okay, I have experience with A and B. Okay, now this is just a template. Okay, what is A and B? A and B is me opening this job description and pulling out 2 requirements from the job description. Just 2. You don't need to pull out all 20. Okay. Why 2? Because you want to speak the manager's language. Okay. If you just say, yeah, I'm a really awesome person, blah, blah, blah. I call that a cheerleader post. Okay. It's great that you're like, building yourself up and everything. But to be honest, nobody really cares, right? You have to speak somebody's language. You have to speak their jargon. You got to speak recruiting language, right? So if I opened up the job description, it's going to have like very succinct language, okay? And if we have educators in here, I think you guys know what I'm talking about with language, okay? Very specific. Oh, did it freeze? Okay. Okay, this one does not have. Well, I guess this is the job description. Okay, this is not a good example because this is like very basic. Okay, but what you could say is, hey, hey David, this role looks interesting. I'm definitely a highly motivated individual. Okay. Another thing I would do, that's actually a horrible job description, by the way. But anyway, another thing I would do is I would go to the company. So Radar Healthcare Providers. Hold on a second. This thing's taking forever. Okay, I would Google Radar Healthcare Providers. Okay. Now, Google is your friend. Okay, let Google do all the work for you. Okay, I would go to a company website. The about section, pretty much every company website has an about section. The About section is a gold mine of quantitative and valuable data about any company, okay? When you start spitting out metrics about a company, that tells an employer that you've done your research, okay? So don't just say, wow, Radar's such a cool company. I love anesthesia. Like that's, yeah, I mean, it says specializing in anesthesia, but anyway, I would get very specific. And I would say, hey, I was doing some research on your company and I didn't know that you guys have been around for over 70 years. Okay, get very specific. Quantitative data, numbers. Hiring managers love data. Okay. First-rate anesthesia professionals. Okay, that's kind of fluff, but you get the idea, right? Show them that you did your research. Another thing you can do, and this is for any company, by the way. You can do this with any company. Okay. Type in the name of the company, click on the news icon. Okay. The news icon is great because Google does the work for you, right? You type in a company, it will scour the internet with anything newsworthy on the company. Okay. You can like scroll down. I mean, you're going to get a lot of garbage too, but you can literally pinpoint information about a company via Google. I would quote an article, right? Or quote a statistic. What's their latest stock price? Do they have any new technology? Excuse me. Basically anything that shows you did your research on the company, okay? Then I would go back to here, to my computer freeze again. I would go back to the comment. Oh, come on. Here we go. Okay, say something like this. I was doing some research on your company and noticed this is where you insert your value. Okay, shows you did your research on the company. Hey, I noticed that you guys increased your revenue in 2019 due to new AI technology. Awesome, right? Why is that important? You're not just patting the person on the back, you're showing initiative, hustle, grit, determinate, all those juicy keywords, right? You're showing your value up front. Okay. Most people wait 30 days for a phone interview to do that. Do it in public, do it up front. Okay. And on that note, just a heads up in case anyone's employed, comments are public. I'll say it again, comments are public. So please use caution. Okay. You don't want to say you're looking for a job in a comment and your boss sees it. Not the smartest idea. Okay. You can always do this on the back end too. Like you can add your value to a company. Just don't say you're looking for a job. Okay. Now, the last thing on that note I would say is in the comment, I would literally say this verbatim. I would be interested in discussing current opportunities. This is for many reasons. Okay. First of all, this job is 3 months old. It's most likely been filled, right? But the purpose of a comment like this is it serves as an icebreaker for a larger conversation. Okay. You want to know about the 7 other entry-level recruiter roles that they're trying to fill internally. Okay. I would say 60 to 80% of jobs are never posted to the public. Why? Because they're trying to fill them internally. It's cheaper. They don't have to pay a staffing firm. They don't have to pay for ad space. And it's also faster. They can send out one email company-wide. They get a handful of responses and they're done hiring in a couple of weeks. Okay, so this little script here is like very specific. It's very targeted. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that so far? It's kind of a lot of information in one fell swoop.
Good.
Good. Okay, cool. All right. So again, this is just a script. Use it with caution because it is a public comment. Okay. So again, if you're currently employed and you're looking to pivot or whatever, and you don't want anyone to see per se, I would leave this section out. Okay. And I would actually leave this section out. And what I would actually do is I would not comment on a job. Okay. What I would do though, which is kind of cool, you can go into a person's profile. I don't know if everyone knows this. You can see what they're posting. Okay, this is huge because you can, unless a person is has a private account, which is kind of like, well, then what are you doing on LinkedIn? Okay, you can go into the, you guys see this section right here? Another gold mine, ding, ding, ding. Okay, click on see all activity. This shows every engagement that David Weigling has engaged in. We don't really care about that. We care about what David himself has posted. Okay, so look, he posted a month ago. Himself, he posted this, okay? Well, he actually shared it from someone else, but it doesn't matter. Do you see how nobody's engaged on it? Not a single person has made a comment, a like, a share, or whatever. So if you comment on this from a month ago, one, he gets a notification on his phone. Two, he gets an email from LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is doing the advertising for you. LinkedIn's $1 billion plus brand equity. Let LinkedIn do the advertising for you. Instead of sending like a cold email first, leave a comment, leave a public comment. You're not asking for a job. You're not talking about a job. Like, I would actually engage on a post that has nothing to do with a job, right? You just want to show engagement. Right? That's the point of engaging on content. You're adding value. Okay. You guys always want to be in like a giving mindset. Ironically, we have a lot of teachers here, so you guys are givers. I get it. Okay. But now you want to give to an employer. Give your hustle, give your value. Okay. Do your research and do it up front in public. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Feel free to ask. I don't bite. Okay. Now, can you guys in the chat, I want you to now send me some companies that you're interested in. I'm going to show you a different method. Send me some companies. Come on, what do we got? I know there's ed tech companies you guys are interested in. Big companies, small companies, medium companies. All right, here we go. Paper. I think I've heard of Paper. Yeah. All right, Paper, Anthem. Okay, good. That's good. Let's start with Paper. Okay, so when you type it in, before you click enter, it's going to give you a ton of results. Did you mean Paper this, Paper Street Meet It? Paper, boom, first company. I'm pretty sure that's the right one, right? In Montreal? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So these are company pages, okay? Company pages, at first I was like, well, these are whatever. They're awesome because it literally will show you who's on LinkedIn from that company globally, the whole world. There's like almost 60,000 followers. There's 1,000 employees. Okay. I would go to the people section. Okay. You can actually search by job title and keyword, etc. But I'm just going to go real slow to show you how to find. How come I can't see anyone? Well, usually I can. Oh, it's because I know what they did. Okay, that's okay. We'll do it another way. So let's say I want the company Paper and I want to look for human resources. Okay, I'm going to type in Paper, human resources. Okay, this is the same search we deployed earlier, except we're not going to click posts. We're going to click people. So what it's going to do, it's going to filter every single person that has Paper in their profile. Paper is going to be kind of a weird one because Paper could be a company, it could be whatever. We'll give it a try. And has human resources in their profile. Okay, so let's see. Oh, my thing expired. So, okay, let's find a different one. I'm going to, Amy, I'm going to keep searching for you. Don't worry about it. Paper wasn't the best example, but it's fine. Let's do Anthem. It's okay. I'm showing you the process, the formula.
No worries.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, Anthem, massive healthcare company, okay, or health insurance. Okay, so I did the same thing. I typed in company and job title, okay. 5,400 results. Now, you can get specific by city if you want, okay. So who asked for Anthem? Karen, where are you at? What city? Karen here? Atlanta, thank you. Okay, ATL, love it. Outcast, big fan. All right. Okay, so Atlanta. All right, so I'm gonna actually type in a city. You don't have to. You can go to a company page and it'll just do like globally. But this like kind of hones in on your search. So this pulls 83 results. Anyone with Anthem in their profile, past or present, just FYI, it's past or present. The job title, human resources, and a city. Okay, so this is a pretty like very specific search. Look at that, senior HR business partner. Now, do you think she's a decision maker? Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Definitely a decision maker. Okay. What I would do is I'm not going to connect with her, okay, because she doesn't know who I am. I want to engage with her. Okay, so I'm going to go down here. Now, if she doesn't have any activity, we can check. We're going to go to post. She posted 9 months ago. Okay, so maybe she's not so active. However, that doesn't mean we still can't engage on her content, right? So what happens from a 9-month-old post? She still gets notified. From 9 months ago, she'll still get notified right now. Okay, so again, you can deploy a 3-point shot, right? This is actually a perfect post because it's not a, wait, is this a job post? This is a job post. All right, fine. Next post. Because you don't want to engage on a job post if it's public. You know what I mean? If you're employed, I should say if you're employed. Okay. Yeah, these are mostly job posts. Here's an achievement you can engage on. So you guys kind of get the idea, like attention's the name of the game. Okay. It's not about sending a cold email like initially. You want to get their attention up front with value. And then, you know, you can go in, send a personalized invite. Does everyone know how to send a personalized invite, by the way? Okay,
No.
I'm going to give you an example. What's that?
I do not.
Okay, cool. So everyone has a different interface, whether you're on a laptop or a phone, doesn't matter. I'm going to try and connect with her. It's going to say add a note. You all the time want to add a note. Please, please, please always add a note. Okay, what I like to do is this. This is for a process improvement manager. So I'm going to go like this. You guys know how when you like send an email and you respond, it'll say like RE : and then the subject. That's what you want to treat a note. That's how you want to treat a note. So I'm going to go like this. RE : senior, what did it say? Senior implementation manager, whatever. Okay. The reason why is you want to make it very, very direct. Okay. Don't waste your time with, this is what most job seekers do. They go, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And I, you know, went to school. Nobody cares. You've already lost my attention. Like, seriously, they don't know who you are. You don't want to start with that. You want to start with something of relevance, direct relevance. She knows she's hiring for a senior implementation manager, so make it incredibly direct, like cut to the chase. Okay. And then you filter down and say, hi, I saw your post, blah, 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 blah. And what I like to do is I'll literally, sometimes I will replicate a 3-point shot in a message. Why? Because you're adding tremendous value, right? Hey, I saw your manager post. I'm definitely qualified to do A and B, blah, blah, blah. I was doing some research on Anthem and I noticed that you guys deployed some new implementation software in 2019, you know, based on your website statistics, blah, blah, blah. How do I know that? I did my research. You don't write that, but I'm telling you guys.
And how quick would you say, like how soon, like after you make the initial like interaction, would you send a personalized invite?
I mean, you could do it immediate. You know, you don't have to waste any time.
Okay.
Because you're showing genuine interest, right? So yeah, I mean, you can engage on a post and then you can send a follow-up personalized invite. No problem, right? You don't have to wait 24 hours. This is not like a, you know, a secret code or whatever. Like you can be immediate, okay? So I would literally do a 3-point shot based on your research for this manager role. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? It's pretty straightforward, right? But you're being very, very like focused. Okay. You're not like wasting any time. You're giving your value. I would say the most important thing is the third part, the current opportunities, right? Because you want to know about all the implementation manager roles like that are under the radar, that they're not putting on job boards. Okay. And this happens all the time, right? They're trying to cut costs, so they don't post all their roles, right? But you need to ask about them, right? The one role is really to like get your foot in the door, and like, yeah, you're interviewing for a single role, but you could be qualified for 3 other roles, right? So you have to inquire, right? I mean, you want to put your best foot forward, obviously, but you do need to inquire about them. Okay. All right. What's next? Let's do another company. There's another tactic you can do with, where's the chat? Okay. Okay. So we have MedCerts. I've heard of that one. Sure. Okay. So here it is. MedCerts, e-learning. Great. Okay. Levant. Oh, they're in Michigan. I'm in Michigan. Awesome. Okay. All right. So another thing that's super great about company pages, go to their posts. Posts are pretty valuable because, I mean, yeah, half the time it's monitored by like an administrative assistant. It's not monitored by like the CEO. If it was, I'd be worried because they should have more important things to do. But yeah, so what's great about, I'm trying to look for like a post with like traffic, because a lot of like on a company page posts, you usually see like internal employees, VPs, you know, senior VPs engaging on these posts. So I'm trying to look for one here. If you look at the reactions, we got a president, we got a director, we got another president. These are, look at that, 4 decision makers in a single post. Okay. What you can do with these can be huge because you can go into their profiles. Here's a president and co-founder, and you can check out their activity. So you guys see how this is much more like human-centered versus click on submit, fill out 17 pages. Like, that's ridiculous, okay? We're humans, we're not robots just yet, okay? All right, so Amber Johnson, for example, I would go down here. Doesn't look like she posted anything. Okay, she posted 3 months ago. Doesn't matter. You can still get her attention, right? You can still like sift through her content. All right, she only posted 1. She only posted once. Fine. Touche, Amber. Touche. All right. But you guys get the idea. Like you can literally sift through company pages. You can pick your favorite companies. You can't do that on a job board. You can't engage with the president and CEO on a job board. Okay, that's huge. That's humongous. I would make, oh, where did it go? This is what you want to do. You want to make 4 lists. Okay. Your first list is job titles. And I'm an educator too, so I should use a visual. All right. First list, job titles. Okay. Now, as you're probably noticing that every job title has one of these. Every job title has a synonym. A project manager at one company is called a product manager, is called a program manager. Every job title is a synonym. So the easiest way to find that is type in, go to any job board, even though I hate job boards. Hate's a strong word. I dislike job boards. Go to any job board and type in that job title, press enter, and see what other synonyms appear. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, if you put project manager, it's going to show up other titles because project manager is typically in a job description. So that's the first list and corresponding synonyms. The next one are cities. Big cities, small cities, neighboring cities. The other one, since we're in a pandemic, synonyms for remote. Does anyone know any synonyms for remote before I ramble them off?
Well, it's not a single synonym, but at home.
Yeah,
great.
at home could work. Like I've seen it hyphenated. Sure. What else?
Hybrid.
Hybrid, excellent.
Work from home.
Work from home. And I've also seen this. Same thing, right? WFH, it means the same thing as work from home. What else? Flex, that's another one. Virtual. There's, oh my God, there's 7, right? Yeah, 7 right there. They all mean the same thing. So you could literally pair it with a city, right? Because some jobs are like still remote, but we need you to be in this city, whatever. Okay, you're looking for all these posts outside your network. That's how you do it. Okay, next list. There's only 2 more. Okay, skills. Okay, skills could be anything from like software utilized, certifications. I mean, the list can go on and on. Basically, look at your resume. Look at your skills, right? Everybody has a different skill set based on your industry, okay? But you can use those against the search terms, okay? So who can can somebody just give me like a software or a certification, just blurt it out?
Salesforce.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so look, we could search by software, Salesforce, hiring. I'll just do project manager because that's like a super common one. Okay. Remote. Let's see what we get. Does anyone remember what filter I click on to filter out just by content? Starts with a P.
For posts.
Post. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah. So we can filter out these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keywords. And look, 3 weeks ago, we're hiring Salesforce PM, remote, boom. Okay. You could literally sift through like endless amounts of content. We're hiring for a PM, Salesforce, boom. We're hiring for Salesforce, right? I mean, like the sky's the limit. If you want, you can get a little bit more granular and just see what's posted in the past week, right? Now, I will say that there's nothing wrong with a post from 6 months ago. There is nothing wrong. And the simple reason is like you can still get somebody's attention from a 6-month-old post, right? It doesn't matter. The whole point of these posts, like I said before, is it's an icebreaker for a larger conversation. Okay, that's the point of them. You don't just want to, okay, I'm going to apply and move on. No, like put some intent into it, right? Add your value, your hustle. If this post is from Google, your favorite company or whatever, you really want to like think about what you say, right? Because everything in a comment or what you write on LinkedIn has a digital footprint. Anybody can find it. Okay, posts don't ever disappear unless you physically delete them. They never disappear. What you say on LinkedIn, unless it's a chat, never disappears. Anybody can find it. Okay, you'd be surprised at the weird kind of conversations I've seen in comments. I mean, you're probably not surprised. You're on LinkedIn. You've seen them. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about search terms? Like you can start with 2 search terms. You can extend it to 3 to 4, right? I will say that the more terms you add, the less results you may receive, right? So I would start just with job title and city. That's the most basic. Okay, job title and city. And again, it can be synonym to remote. Okay. Let's try dental hygienist. Was it Nashville or?
Nashville, Franklin, yeah.
Nashville,
fine.
okay. I went to a great blues bar downtown Nashville. Had a great time.
There's a lot of them.
Yes, indeed. I don't remember as much because I had some beverages, but yes. All right. I always screw up hygienist. How do you HYGE, the GEIN or GIEN? There we go.
Yeah,
All
hygienist.
right. Well, I need to get tutored on that. Okay. Dental hygienist.
There you
Okay, Nashville. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but can a dental hygienist be remote?
go. Unless you're like in a sales or position like that,
All right, so
No,
let's,
not
okay, so we
generally,
can, you can have more than one search. All right, let's try dental hygienist Nashville hiring. I already have it filtered by posts. Okay. Oh, the Dental Festival. He's the founder of the Dental Festival. Interesting.
Mm.
This is a lengthy post. Okay, so boom, I'm hiring a month ago. Wonderful. Okay, so here's an opportunity. Look at that. Not a single person has commented. What do you think they did? They just applied. Right? This is like
Right.
open real estate for you to like be seen. The reason I keep harping on like leaving comments of value is because when you do that with a decision-making entity, most hiring managers are connected to other hiring managers in their network. I'll say it again. Most hiring managers are connected to other hiring managers. So what does that mean? When you leave a comment of value, not only does your network see the comment, but the other person's, the decision maker's network sees your value added comment. LinkedIn is literally doing the advertising for you. So you just want to be very like calculated in what you say. That's why I suggest the 3-point shot. You're adding value, you're straight to the point, asking about current opportunities. Again, if you're currently employed, use caution, just add value, right? And then on the back end, you can ask about current opportunities. You can say, I'm qualified to do A and B, but on the back end. I'm glad this is being recorded because if anyone ever comes back to me and said, you know, my employer just found out, blah, I'm like, well, I did say be discreet. All right, anyway. All right, cool. So dental hygienist, more great opportunities. Another thing you can do, okay, you can look up dental hygienist groups. Again, by company, okay? Like, is there a specific name of a dental hygienist like company? can
Well,
think
we've got the Tennessee Dental Hygiene Association and then the National Dental Association, Dental Hygiene Association. There's several different levels of them.
Okay. National,
Nashville.
oh, Nashville, I think it's Nashville.
Yeah, you can do Nashville Dental Hygiene Association.
Cool. Okay, so you can do it from a high level. So this, again, for everybody, that can be any company from a high level. And then what you do is you do like a trickle down effect. Okay, I'm gonna pick a massive one just so everyone can like see what I'm talking about. How about Amazon? We're taking over the world anyway, so why not? All right, so Amazon has like, I think 250,000 employees globally. Where are they at here? Okay, so we're gonna click on people. Amazon's great because they have like nothing but decision makers on LinkedIn. Okay, so it's literally a top-down approach. Okay, you can also filter it because Amazon has like 1 million departments. They have an education department, right? I mean, you can get like super picky about here, Amazon. I'm sure they have some fancy term for it, but Amazon education. And then you can do people, because you want to know every single person that works on Amazon with the word education in their or like learning. About learning here. So that's the thing, you kind of have to play around with them because it's literally a Google search. Boom, learning manager at Amazon. Okay, you have to like play around with keywords. Learning operations manager, learning and development. If anyone's a teacher trying to pivot, LND, right? That's a huge, because that's where the training occurs, right? If you type in trainer, like, yeah, you'll find roles, but 9 times out of 10, a trainer is not called a trainer. It's called a L&D specialist, a learning and development, you know, it's fancy, right? It's like an L&D specialist. Well, L&D is also a department. So you kind of just have to like play around with the keywords, go on these job boards, as much as I don't like them, and look at the language. What do they call a teacher? Well, they don't call it a teacher. They call it, you know, a training specialist, an implementation specialist, a learning and development manager, a curriculum developer, right? So it's not that much different. You just have to like look at the language. How is it being presented in terms of language? All right, I'm gonna open up the floor just because I need to breathe a little bit for questions. If you guys have questions, specific questions, how do I find this? What does this look like? Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at if you're looking at just general recruiting or career advocacy, what are the specific technical skills? It seems like a lot of it is searching, but is there like a specific like technical skill that they look for?
For entry level, not really. They're looking for like proficient communication skills, right? And they're gonna say that in a number of ways. So if I just look for like, here, I'll just go to the general job board. And actually, I think I do have a contact for you that we can chat offline, Corbin. So I do have a contact for you for an entry-level recruiter. So we can talk about that offline. But yeah, like it's about the language, right? How they state it. They're not at Amazon, they're probably not going to have a teacher role. Probably not, right? What are they going to call it? A customer success manager, right? Instructional designer. That's a huge one. Every teacher in this room right now is an instructional designer, period. You guys have written endless lesson plans. I can't stand lesson plans. I'm a terrible writer. It's not my strength, but like that's instructional design in the IT world, in the tech world, in the ed tech world. Okay. Does anyone have any other like specific questions I can like pinpoint? We got like 10 minutes. Don't be shy. Come on now. Okay, so I think the biggest takeaway from this, and we haven't even gotten into content, but that's, I could talk about this for hours. The basic thing about content, I think, is incredibly important because it gives you visibility, right? Remember how I said in the beginning that your profile is searchable? Well, so is your content. So I just showed you guys when I typed in keywords and I filtered by posts, what pops up? People's content, right? People's content. So when you create a post, you want to be very intentional, right? And the best way to do it, like for hiring managers to find you, is document your expertise. DYE, document your expertise. Okay, so if you are interested in instructional design and you're coming from an education background, talk about the day in a life of writing a lesson plan. Why? Because it's a perfect pivot, a perfect segue transition into an instructional designer or a trainer or whatever. Maybe not the exact same language, but you can pivot it into the language. I would literally take a job description of whatever you want, an instructional designer, but start talking about your expertise and then say, after teaching in the classroom for 20 years, I'm super interested in getting into instructional design because it involves XYZ, right? And then you're embedding those keywords in which hiring managers are using to find you. They don't know your first and last name, right? Why would they? They don't have your resume. So they search for keywords. Again, king and queen on this platform are keywords. Okay. I have my princesses and my queens at home, my wife and daughters, but on this platform, keywords are king and queen. Okay.
When you're looking, Jacob, when you're looking at a posting that is pages long, I know I should look for keywords that are verbs, action verbs in particular, or what else? What would I use to look for the keywords?
I wouldn't do verbs. I don't care too much for verbs because you got to think about it.
Okay.
Would a hiring manager search for verbs to find you?
Interesting. Okay.
Like, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, are
Mhm.
verbs a skill that they're looking for in a job description? Probably not.
So I don't need like I implemented, maintained.
No.
Onboarded.
Because you're thinking from a resume standpoint, or
Right.
like bullet points on a job description. What I'm
Right.
talking about are like the raw skills,
Okay.
like software use, certifications, those are like raw skills,
Okay,
right? Because that's what they're looking for.
Right.
And since they don't know your name, they're looking
Mhm.
for skills.
okay.
But I understand I understand your question.
Mhm.
Because that's how they read a resume, you know, those action verbs and all that.
Mhm.
But they're not, I'm fairly certain they're not searching for those action words.
Okay.
Otherwise, their search would be ridiculous, right? Because they wouldn't get anywhere. They wouldn't get anywhere with their search. But if you type in Salesforce, Chicago project manager, most likely you're going to get tons of people with that job title, that city, that skill, either in their profile or in their content. And that's how they find you. That is, and so the best way to repurpose that to get visible by an employer is document your expertise, right? If you're going for, if you have 20 years as a project manager, but now you want to go into instructional design and you keep talking about PM work, project management, well, no, you're not going to get found by a hiring manager looking for an instructional designer because it's a different language, different keywords, right? Different requirements. So that's why I say, like, if you're looking for an instructional designer role and you're a teacher, that's a very simple pivot. That's a very simple transition in terms of content and your profile, right? It's like that's like a perfect marriage of, you know, from instructional design to education. Some things are a little bit more like intricate, like project management from being an educator. I mean, educators, I think, are amazing project managers. We juggle 8,000 things in a day, right? Or in an hour, right? But it's how you market yourself accordingly. You can't say I manage 30 kids in a classroom. Well, you can, but you have to change the language. You have to market it like, you know, I implement, like I manage projects school-wide, working with various faculty and staff, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to say, you know, I wrangled kids, 30 kids, and got yelled at by parents for 4 hours. Like, you know, a little different. You have to pitch it accordingly, right? But again, you get found by keywords. That is like how, before they find your resume, they find your profile, right? Your resume itself is not searchable. Period. It's not searchable at all. You can pin it to your profile. If you submit it, it just sits in a database. It sits there. It's not actually searchable. The keywords itself on a resume are not searchable. What's searchable? The keywords in your profile and the keywords in your content all day long. Nobody, you can have 0 people in your network and anyone can find you by those 2 things. Cool. Any other questions about anything? Content, how do I find this? How do I find that? And
Can I
you
ask
guys
another quick one?
Sure.
If you do a search, should you turn the notification on so you keep getting emails about that search?
You're talking about,
Like if you search project manager, then there's a button that says on or off, would you like to receive notifications for this search?
and you're talking about in the general search, not the jobs section.
Well, I did a search and maybe I clicked jobs as a filter and it showed up there.
Ah, I see what you mean. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you can, it'll just remind you. I know what you're talking about. So if you click on jobs,
Mhm.
but see, here's the thing.
Ah, there you go.
It's the same thing as, it's the same thing as going to the job icon.
Right, okay, yeah,
And so,
I get that.
and so what is this? It's just
Mhm.
LinkedIn's version of a job board,
Right,
right? Which
Yeah,
again,
that-
I'm not a huge fan of, but what I would do is I would reverse engineer this. Instead of applying, find a
Mhm.
decision maker at Tech Systems,
okay.
right?
Mhm.
Find a talent acquisition, human resource, CEO, senior
Mhm.
VP, whatever, and like reverse engineer it so you can make the
Okay.
process more human
Right,
before you apply. Do you know what I mean? Like you can add your
Yes.
value instead of
Mhm.
saying like, here's a piece of paper. Oh, you have
Mm-hmm.
900 other resumes. Great, right? You got to be
Yeah.
like strategic about it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that too. I just don't rely on only clicking submit. I guess that's what I'm trying to hit home.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you could do that too. That's another strategy. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, we didn't even get to groups yet. Clubhouse, if you guys are familiar with Clubhouse, is an amazing platform. You can actually cross-pollinate the two, Clubhouse and LinkedIn, where you can find decision makers on LinkedIn and then see if they're on Clubhouse, and you can actually have a conversation with them, because Clubhouse is 100% audio only. It's amazing, amazing, amazing app. But that's for another time. Any other questions? Oh, we got someone in the chat. What were for list. Oh, I didn't finish the list. Good call. Thank you, Karen. So the third list was skills. Okay, so that could be software use, certifications, basically anything on your resume. You can search for them. They are searchable. Okay, we did Salesforce. The last one is companies. Make a huge list of companies. Okay, and like I showed you, you can type in, like Amazon, right? You can type in a company and a job title, like Amazon Human Resources. You can add a city too, like to get super specific, and you can find decision makers by company, city, and job title, or just go to their company page, if it will take me there. You can go to, because it's on jobs. Okay, filters are a little funky, so just make sure they're working. So yeah, you can go to a company page and you can search for people by company page. Super powerful, because again, you can go into their content. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time, but you can go into pretty much anyone's content and check out their activity, see what they're posting. See 1.2 million employees, something like this. Company, the word hiring. Watch this. You can filter by posts, and it will search the entire globe of Amazon hiring anywhere in the world. If you want to get specific, great. How about in Atlanta? Post, boom, okay. Well, this was a year ago. But you get the idea. Like when you start typing in keywords, here's one right here, okay, from a year ago. But who cares? It's a chief marketing officer. It's a decision maker, right? I'm pretty sure Jennifer Davis makes decisions all day long, okay? So that's the thing. It's like you just have to. I'm teaching this to like get outside your network, outside. All the opportunity is ironically outside your network, okay? That is the key. That is the key. Okay. And on that note, I'm gonna keep it open for like another couple minutes. If you guys have questions, if you want to just hang around. I do have a ton of other services. I do resume revisions, LinkedIn optimizations. I do company decision maker lists where I can populate. You can take any company you want, 10, 20, 30 companies, and I will find the decision makers for you. I will locate their phone numbers and email addresses for you to contact them. I do master classes, I do boot camps, I do short-term, long-term coaching, the works. But the only thing that I wanted you guys to get, like the biggest takeaway from this, is like how you implement your search. And I wanted to show you that it's not about the job boards. It's not. It's about like making human connections by adding like raw value, right? You can't do that with bullet points and dates of employment. Not in a million years, okay? This is an active search. This is not a passive search. Okay. I'm gonna shut my yap for a moment. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. And thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the recording, and I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I learned a ton. Thanks.
Awesome.